Shalom, 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 shalom. This your brother Yawana representing the Warriors for Yahweh Shai, Michigan camp. Before we start off, I want to give all praise, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, the Ruwa, the teacher that tells us truth, and a hearty shalom to all the Akim, the Aqua, and shalom, shalom. So yeah, man, we're clearly seeing the end of this society, the end of this kingdom, which is Babylon the Great, which is America. All right. This society is coming to an end. The wicked society of Esau, Edom is over, man. All right. And you can clearly see with all the things that's happening, that we're in the end, man. Okay. Let me read off the scriptures and then we're gonna get straight into it. So the scriptures tell us this when you begin to see, these different signs, what it means. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Let's get it from 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, all these different signs, the dollar crashing, okay, different plagues, pestilences, the economy totally collapsing, blackouts, sedition among men, upwards of the people. This is all the signs. It says, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time where the highest, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes, every single day there's new earthquakes. And upwards of the people in the world, when you see upwards of the people fighting and bucking up, that's how you know we're in the end. And then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from that days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made, the world have a beginning to end, the end is manifest. So yeah, the end of this society is coming, man. It's happening. You can clearly see it. Let's get into it.
أنا كنت ساكنة في دار في بيت معززة مكرمة، يعني انتقلنا نزحنا لخيمة. الخيمة ما بينعاش فيها، محوطة بالفيران. يعني إحنا بنخاف ننام.
كذلك الأمر، ما يجيش على الأكل، ما يجيش على الشاي. حفريات هذا كلها.
And these are one of the plagues, man. Okay, one of the plagues that the Lord is putting on, these different heathen nations. All right. The same thing is happening all over the world where the Lord is either using mice, whether it be earthquakes, whether it be, tsunamis, tornadoes. The Lord is visiting Babylon the Great through storms. All right. And that's a heavy precept. Let me see if I can get that. So yeah, you're seeing these different creatures. You're seeing the Lord, hitting these heathen nations with these different plagues. Let me see if I can get that scripture. Isaiah 29:6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, with earthquake and great noise, with storm, tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. So the Lord can visit you through teeth of wild beasts. He could visit you through storms, earthquakes. Let me get this scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus 39 and 27. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. So these different things that the Lord is showing you, it can either be used for good or it can be used for evil. The Lord can have animals protect you, or he can have animals come after you. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. All right, so these different creatures like mice, you got dogs, birds, whatever. All right, the Lord is using them for vengeance, for all the wickedness, the sins, all the wicked things that these heathen nations do, following after idols. The Lord is using these animals as vengeance. It says, which is in their fury lay on sore strokes, right? Getting bit up by mice, getting bit up by different animals, that's a plague. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord created all these different creatures, all right, and the Lord is about to start using them, all right, for other purposes, all right, besides just, for their regular purposes in life. It says fire and hell and famine, death, all these were created for vengeance. So fire, people getting burned up, houses burned up, that's a plague. Hail, you know, when you getting hit with hail, the big golf balls of ice, that's a plague. Famine, you know, right now we're seeing, you know, the war between, you know, over there in the Middle East. You got you know, the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. They was having problems over there. You know, on top of that, you know, gas prices at an all-time high right now. So yeah, man, you're seeing, you know, all these different things being used for vengeance. It says teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. So all these things is to punish these heathen nations for their wickedness against the Israelites. Let's get this.
Republicans are extremely upset because Donald Trump can no longer guarantee that his tariffs will actually keep costs low in America. He was asked today on Meet the Press whether or not he can guarantee to the American public that his tariffs will not increase prices, and his simple answer was no, he can't guarantee that. Now, Trump went on to say that he does not believe the economists who say that tariffs will jack up American prices, but economists from across the spectrum agree that tariffs will increase prices, and so do American companies, from Walmart to Lowe's to auto manufacturers to others. And now folks from across the country, whether they're MAGA Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter what political party you're in, a lot of them are upset because not even Donald Trump can guarantee that his tariffs will ensure that prices stay low for Americans. It's just not true. It's a moment that a lot of folks are going to remember for a very long time.
Prices are going to hike, man, which is going to cause those storehouses to run empty, which is going to cause the price to go up, inflation, you know, which is going to cause, you know, famines. All right. This is Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death. So your money is not going to save you, man. All right. No amount of riches is going to save you in the day of Jacob's trouble. So this is Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land should be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. So money is not going to save you. Dollars is not going to save you. Coins is not going to save you. Okay, Bitcoin and all that, that's not going to save you. Stocks and bonds is not going to save you. What's going to deliver you is serving and how about Shemi Abishai, having faith and calling upon the true names. The whole land is going to experience the nuclear fire, all right, in Babylon the Great, which is America. Scripture says this place is going to get hit with 200 million missiles from Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, all these different countries, according to Bible prophecy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So very soon, this society is going to come to an abrupt halt, and the Lord's going to come and save his people, his elect, out of Israel. Okay, very soon you're going to see, you know, Yahweh Shai return with them chariots, all right, that fathership, and he's going to literally beam up his elect directly after they beamed up after Jacob's trouble. All right, you're going to see those nuclear missiles and that concentrated fire from the chariots. All right, so let's get this.
Support merchant vessels seeking to freely The United States has just announced a new operation called Project Freedom. U.S. Central Command just posted this on X, and we're going to go over all of that and more on tonight's U.S. News Recap, recapping all the news stories you may have missed today. This new project is to restore the freedom of navigation inside the Strait of Hormuz, and the United States is doing a few different things. U.S. Central Command put this statement onto X, saying that the mission, directed by the president, will support merchant vessels seeking to freely transit through the essential international trade corridor. The commander of CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper, saying in a statement, "Our support for this defensive mission is essential to the regional security and global economy as we also maintain the naval blockade." There's a few things we can break down there. First and foremost, the United States is saying that this is a defensive thing, meaning they're not going in there operational to shoot at things, just to protect these ships. But the big thing there is that the U.S. is implying that while they are allowing these ships to come in and out, they still have a naval blockade, meaning that the U.S. is still controlling or restricting the Strait of Hormuz themselves. While it is open, the United States is going to be putting more pressure onto Iran and potentially other countries, potentially Russia and China. The U.S. is doing this with a lot of manpower, talking about 15,000 troops. They're saying it's including guided missile destroyers, over 100 land and sea-based aircraft, multiple...
All right, so Matthew 24:6, ye shall hear of wars or rumors of wars. See, be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're going to hear of rumors of war. We're going to hear of talks of World War III. We're going to hear of, you know, them talk about drafts and things like that. But we're not at the end yet, all right? We still have to have the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the Neuralink, all right, the digital ID, it's going to be inserted in that chip. That still has to come out. Okay, the prophecy where it's going to be millions of people lining up taking that chip, that has to play out. All right, so yeah, we're in those times.
Of Iranian missile and drone strikes, this U.S. military base in the Gulf is transformed. This is Camp Buehring in Kuwait, a vast desert hub for American forces, home to thousands of troops and even karaoke nights. It's one of many U.S. military facilities in the oil-rich Arabian Peninsula targeted by Iran, even as the U.S. and Israel pummeled its large arsenal. So just how hard has America's footprint in the Middle East been hit?
A CNN investigation found evidence of unprecedented destruction. We can reveal that strikes damaged at least 16 U.S. installations across 8 countries.
So war is going to come, man. All right? Let me get this scripture. 2 Esdras chapter 16 and 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. A lot of people are going to die from starvation. They're going to starve. They're going to die from, not being able to buy certain goods, certain foods. All right? It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So if you don't die from starvation, you don't die from not being able to get water and foods, you're going to die from World War III. Okay, if you're not a part of the elect of Israel. All right.
Trying to destabilize the country, to which some people would call it disturbing news. Donald Trump just called all Democrats human garbage and says we're trying to destabilize the country, to which some people would call it a war. He says, so ironic that crying Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are hiring sleazebags like Barack Hussein Obama's crooked former Attorney General Eric Holder.
All right, so we see in that division. All right, this is Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, Americans against the Americans. All right, the Lord's putting these different countries against other countries. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, and city against city and kingdom against kingdom. So you're going to see division. You're going to see people, American fighting American. You're going to see China, Russia, NATO, all these different countries. They're going to be divided. They're going to be coming at one another. You can clearly see it's going to only get worse.
Even more U.S. troops are going to be pulled out of Europe because you may have known on Friday, we're told 5,000. But Donald Trump, speaking to reporters yesterday, he mentioned it's going to be a lot more than that. Speaking on the tarmac in Florida, Trump was asked about this, in which he says, quote, we're going to cut way down and we're cutting a lot further than 5,000. But right now, many Republicans are actually calling out the president, saying this is not the right move. The top Republicans from Congress, such as Senator Roger Wicker and Congressman Mike Rogers, who's stating right now that in the past, we've actually seen Germany step up a lot of their military. Something in which Donald Trump had asked NATO countries in Germany was that.
So in Revelations 11 and 14, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. World War III is coming, man. You can clearly see it.
1,000 warrants for people that's doing PP loan. Bro, this nigga Trump sent 500,000 warrants for people that's doing PP loan. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 500,000 warrants.
So Job chapter 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof, if not where, who is he? So these Edomites are in charge. The so-called white nation, they're in charge of everything that goes down, man. All right, behind the scenes, this is another one of the plagues.
3 people have been confirmed dead as a result of the hantavirus on a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic, and it's driving lots of fears on that boat and for those who are on the boat. 6 people have been infected on a cruise ship literally in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The outbreak was reported on a boat called the MV Hondius. It's been sailing between Argentina and Cape Verde, and well, it's a Dutch company. And now 6 people.
So this is 2 Esdras chapter 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that's what's coming, man. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims on the earth. So we getting ready to get out of here, man. All right?
Not gotten better, okay? Just because Donald Trump says, hey, the war is done, doesn't mean the effects of what happened a couple months ago are not still being played out. Remember, there's still going to be long-term consequences, even if the strait opens up or is open back to full capacity today, which it's not, right? So what this shows you kind of where we're headed. At current, given the information the market, the world knows today, that we will likely start to see $7 national average gas prices, so it's a national average, by midsummer, right? Which kind of aligns with my prediction from a couple months back that when we get nearer to summer, when energy consumption is already elevated, right, because of air conditioning, we just burn more energy during the summer. That's when you're going to see this start to really uptick even more. $7. Now, remember, folks, this is just national average, which means in a lot of places
you could clearly see it.
Passengers going to Columbus on flight 546. Your flight has now been canceled.
So yeah, Spirit is officially down, man. Yeah, imagine all the people that's out there that was ready to go on a trip that was about to go somewhere and they flight got canceled. You see? Look at this. Let's get some more.
The universe marketing intentionally hiding its most controversial.
So the only warning that you got was when?
Today. We tried to see the tickets and we saw the message on the big screen that it said that we cannot, that they were canceling our flights.
All flights have been canceled effective immediately, and they're not offering rebooking services right now, telling passengers to book with other airlines. Several carriers have stepped up, which is certainly good news, offering support for impacted travelers, some even offering reduced fares on select routes. Now, the airline did release a statement this morning telling guests all flights have been canceled and customer service is no longer available. Travelers will automatically receive refunds for flights purchased with a credit or debit card, but those who booked using a voucher, credit, or points will be informed about compensation at a later date. Now, Spirit passengers are being told not to go to the airport. Instead, refer to the website spiritrestructuring.com for further guidance.
So the only warning that you got was when?
Today. We tried to see.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Trump's new Fed chair is going to bail us out. Now, this is what I hear from a concerning amount of comments. Either Trump's new Fed guy is going to turn on the money printer or he's going to start cutting rates. And that's why the market's up. Because he's either going to destroy the dollar or he's going to bail out the market. And I got to tell you guys, this is just completely wrong on every level, okay? First of all, Trump's new Fed guy, he's got control of the Fed, whatever. Kevin Warsh, this guy, he's explicitly, for his entire career, has been against printing money. He's on the opposite side of that. Even in his confirmation hearing, the last one, the one that just happened, he literally said, my goal is to shrink the Fed balance sheet. That is the opposite of money printing. Maybe you think, oh, he's going to cut rates. He's going to come and immediately start slashing rates because that's what Trump told him to do. And Trump, even if he was going to do that, which maybe he would, he can't. He physically can't. The Fed votes on that. You got 12 guys who come in and vote on whether you're going to cut rates or not. You can't just come in and go, I want to cut rates. We're doing it now. If you look at the...
No, she's done a great job, but she hates it when I do the thing on weightlifting. She says it's so...
Enjoyed the company. The company gave me the opportunity to fly. So it's kind of sad waking up this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning knowing that the company's completely gone.
You were in New Jersey when you found out this information. How did that go down? I mean, were you just put on a flight? Were you sent an email?
Well, a lot of the social media was coming out. It was already telling us that Spirit was going to go under at 3 o'clock. The deal didn't go through, whatever deal that they was working on. So I set my alarm clock for 3 a.m. And then once it went off, I immediately just went to spiritbooking.com and it showed that all the flight had canceled.
I bet that was just a pit in your stomach came through. I mean, what was that like?
It was like, okay, how am I going to pay these bills? Because I just purchased a new home, South Georgia. So I'm 60. So I was hoping to retire another 2 years because I have 10 years feathered in.
My problem is that
I have some massive, fucking historic news for you today about the USA. Here we go. So now Delta is canceling hundreds of flights after Spirit went out of business. And a lot of people are now saying that their flight tickets are soaring in costs. I predicted this. Many other people predicted this. This is just the beginning, okay? There's going to be more and more flights being canceled, and prices are going to continue to soar because the cost of...
It's over.
You're going to end up with a beautiful, beautiful reflecting.
Last night, Donald Trump had a late-night meltdown on social media, which includes him posting a photo of him, J.D. Vance, and other members of his team shirtless, swimming in the reflecting pool in D.C. And I'm not joking. And actually, his posting spree started with...
You know what I'm saying? The scripture says these people are weird, man. You know? See if I can pull it up. So scripture clearly tell you, like, yo, these people do weirdo stuff. It says Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So literally, these people are complete weirdos, man. All right, look at this.
Hey, do you guys remember when Trump got elected and I freaked out and told you to stock up on abortion pills because they're going to make it harder to get them? Never tell me I'm overreacting ever again. As of 2 hours ago, you can no longer get mifepristone, the abortion pill, mailed to you. Getting mifepristone, which is safer than Tylenol, by the way, millions of people have used it safely and effectively, prescribed and then mailed to you via telehealth was a major, major way that people who live in states with restricted access to abortion.
And man, it's over for these women, man. You know, I got a video that I want to bring out going into this, but you women are completely gone. Y'all totally turned away from what y'all was set up to do, man.
Into the trunk to grab his luggage.
Which is to have children.
He says the drive was smooth, but when he got out of the car and went to the trunk to grab his luggage, he says the Waymo took off before he could.
I pressed. And stay away from the robots, stay away from the self-driving cars, self-driving trucks, because you know, Esau Edom is under control with all that. Look at this, man.
Closing all locations. Somebody said, what an end of an era. They gonna miss fooling around at this place. Man, so it say Spencer's that be in the mall is closing all locations. Somebody said, what an end of an era. They gonna miss fooling around at this place. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
And Spirit sucks, honestly. So I'm actually kind of happy that it went out of business, hopefully.
The company that makes the abortion pill, mifepristone, has asked the Supreme Court to step in after a lower court.
I hope the people who have created this inconvenience for people like myself, you know, they should ask God for forgiveness. I mean, this is terrible. They should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm upset. And then also it makes me nervous because I've already paid money to go on a cruise. We came here to the airport to try to get another ticket. American Airlines is like $1,300. And then I hear from Frontier that they're only helping customers until June 6th. Well, my flight is all the way until the 18th. I haven't even received my money back to even buy a new ticket. When you call, it just hangs straight up.
My flight back home was scheduled for 8:30 yesterday, and they first delayed it, and they told me my flight will be at 11:30 p.m. And then I was like, that's fine. But then I got another email saying it was canceled, and now I'm stuck in Florida.
I went to the kiosk and I typed in my information, and they're like, oh yeah, your flight has been canceled, find an agent. So I was looking for an agent. They were like, there's no agent, there's no customer service.
I hope the people who have created...
The goal is like, we want him to be able to simply just intend to move his mouth and for our BCI to decode his speech.
The MOTB is coming, man.
A federal appeals court blocking people.
We have officially hit the breaking point. So now my question is, what do we do? The breaking...
Well, just into the WIS newsroom, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott responding to calls to defund SC State after the university canceled her speech at graduation next week. In a new statement, she says...
She wore a suit, clothes that were
In some cases, you know, a $9.
Yeah, Gio, good morning to you. So this new polling shows that President Trump's disapproval rating has hit a record high 62%. That is the worst.
Well, social media was out there all day yesterday. They were just saying it, but you know, I just chose not to believe it. And then I woke up this morning at 3 a.m. this morning. I had set my alarm clock just to see what was going on the website, the company website. And then when I woke up, went on to I'm booking a flight, and they said that Spirit have canceled all flights. So I heard that we was getting ready to come.
It was the first commercial ship attacked in the continent.
So we should not expect this crisis to be over anytime soon. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed for more than 2 months. The impact is being felt not just in higher prices, but also in tightening supply. And here in Asia, we are especially affected because of our high dependence on energy and other critical supplies from the Gulf. Some countries in our region are already facing fuel shortages, as you can see from the news. Airlines have cut flights. Factories are reporting delays. And the disruptions will not stop at energy. Fertilizer, food, and other essential inputs will be hit next. We can expect shortages in more items to emerge. Even when the strait reopens, it will not be an immediate return to normal. So we should not expect this crisis to be over anytime soon. In fact, the pressures are likely to intensify. Supply disruptions will persist and may worsen in the months ahead. Globally, inflation will rise, spreading from energy to food and then other essentials. Some economies may well slip into recession. And Singapore will feel the impact directly. Our growth this year was slow and inflation will be higher.
You heard what he said.
Dog, there's so many people right now stuck at the airport in Las Vegas, all because of all those flights was canceled from Spirit. And it's bold because everybody was trying to get to the East Coast. When I say I'm Ubering right now, so I know.
I was supposed to fly on Spirit in 2 weeks, and that's obviously not happening anymore. It is what it is. I've seen this coming for the last few weeks. But when I booked my flight, I paid $180, flying out of Detroit and going to Charlotte. And when I see people get online and say, well, Spirit sucks, Spirit was shit, Spirit was this, whatever, and then tell people to just book on another airline, it's not that simple when you see what prices are now. I've seen the Spirit thing coming for the last few weeks. I actually kind of had an inkling that it was going to happen because my flight got changed 3 different times. When you look at flight prices right now, my $180 flight on Spirit is $500, almost $500 on Delta, on American, on Southwest, on all of them. Same airports, same destinations, almost $500. People who rely on airlines like Spirit are not going to be able to travel as much, and this is going to affect tourism. All those people that took Spirit to Florida to go to Disney or go to Miami or go wherever, you're going to affect tourism now because people can't afford a $500 flight per person and they have a family of 4. But maybe they can afford a...
The CEO of Starbucks just did an interview in which he was making the case for a $9 cup of coffee, which is exactly why he's my favorite CEO. His name is Brian Niccol. If you don't know him, he's an absolute legend. I refer to him as resting Newport Beach face. But my favorite part is that Brian is so full of it in a way that I just find hilarious and endearing, because a lot of people at his level are a little bit full of it, but he's so full of it because he said in order to justify the $9, coffee price, they're going to have to provide a worthwhile experience. He said a premium experience, which of course no part of that is making the coffee taste better, which I think is hilarious. But Brian's a true innovator. Since he's been there, he's done so many good things. He's changed the name from Starbucks back to, get this, the Starbucks Coffee Company. Yeah, Brian did that. Take that, Tesla. He's also done a Green Apron service, which is like writing
Okay, let's talk about Spirit Airlines and the federal government really quick, because I don't think
keep the doors closed all the time.
It's a sunny afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. But inside Carolyn Kane's 3,000 square foot home, it's cold.
I'm walking around in a ski suit, trying to stay warm in the winter.
It's only gonna get worse, man. So let me get this that we can close out. Get in the shower, boy. All right, over 2,000 stores are set to close in 2026 as retailers like 7-Eleven, Macy's, and Carter's shut their locations due to shifting consumer habits, bankruptcy, and underperformance. Major closures include hundreds of 7-Eleven and Wendy locations, alongside Nordstrom, Saks off Fifth cutting down their footprint. So you got all these different stores. 7-Eleven closing 645 North American stores. Macy's downsizing by up to 150 stores. Wendy's report suggests roughly 300 locations could close. Carter's closing approximately 150 stores. Saks Fifth closing 57. Grocery outlet 36. Nordstrom closing at least 2 full-line stores. IKEA closing the Memphis location in May. Pizza Hut closing franchise 68 locations. All right. So it's going down, man. You know, let me see if I can pull this up. Wendy's is closing hundreds of stores. See an updated list of locations where the chain is shuttering the most. List of stores closing in May. Look at this, man. This just came out yesterday. All right, so it's over, man. You know, America's closing. You got a whole bunch of stores. Let me see if I can go back a little. Slovakia. Come on, man. What you doing to me? So yeah, you got a bunch of stores that's closing. Claire's closed all 154 stores in UK and Ireland with loss of 1,300 jobs. 7-Eleven plans to close 645 stores. Apple is permanently closing 3 U.S. stores in June. Major grocery chain closes more stores, cut jobs as post-merger fallout deepens. Pizza Hut is closing hundreds of restaurants. All right, so all these places is closing up, man. What does that mean? Mall fashion retailer closed 150 stores in turnaround push. More than 2,000 stores are set to close across the U.S. in 2026. All right, so it's over, man. Let me see if I can grab the scripture. 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the stone places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So it's over, man. You know, America is closed and this place is shutting down. So with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and Ruwa that teach what taught us truth, and a hearty shalom to all the Akim and Aqua tuning in.